The 15th topic is an interesting topic where we have been given the zeros, and then we need to see which is the polynomial function, the least polynomial function. So there are plenty of ways to do this. Now, one thing is, if this is 0, that is x is equal to 5, you can take it inside. The factor would be x minus 5. Then x plus 2 and x plus 1. And we have done multiplication, binomial multiplication, multiply this. So what is it going to be? It'll be x squared plus 2x, x squared plus 2x minus 5x minus 10, and this needs to be simplified and multiplied with the next term. It'll be x squared minus 3x minus 10, and I will multiply the other term over here, x plus 1. So again, it'll be x cubed this time, because you add the powers 2 plus 1, it'll be x cubed plus x squared minus 3x squared minus 3x minus 10x minus 10. Now you need to simplify it further. That is x cubed minus 2x squared. Then you have minus 13x minus 10. So this would be the answer over here. You can see that is the answer. So that is the thing. You can try it out everywhere, but now there is a problem with this I, because that is imaginary solutions, isn't it? So this is the general method. Now there is a similar method can be done everywhere, but I will tell you other methods as well. Now take out your calculator. If you go to mode 5, 4, you can solve this. Let's solve that. 1 minus 2 minus 13 and minus 10. What is the answer? The answer is 5 minus 1 and minus 2. That is the question. So that is one way you can solve all the four options and you will get it. Now, one more thing you need to understand is if there are three zeros, exactly three zeros, that means the graph is something like this. And this is 1 0, one more 0, one more 0. This is the cubic solution. Now whenever you see 3, it means it is x cubed. That will be the answer. So you can easily eliminate all the other options without x cubed. So now in this you will have four options. I'm sure 2 will be x cubed and 2 will be maybe x to the power 2 or something else. Eliminate all those other, because this must be x to the power 3. But what happens when this x to the 2i comes? I means imaginary, and they are always in pair. They have not mentioned this over here, that's imaginary is mentioned, but they are always in pair. So if you have 2i, there must be minus 2i as well as a solution. But sadly, we cannot use direct calculator method and stuff. But what you can do is you can easily eliminate the other options and then find the correct answer. So one of the method to solve this is factoring this one. Okay, you can factor this one out. So that would mean basically you have to factor it. Um, just now whatever we learned, but that's a long method, so you can ignore that. But over here you will have four options. You need to understand one, two. There are two roots over here because of I. So your first coefficient will be having the degree. Sorry, the first term will have the degree of x to the power 4. That is one way to reduce the options. But what if there are two problems, two questions, two answers with the same thing? You need to solve this. So for this, you can't use the direct method, like directly solving this or anything. You have to use the normal method. Now let's see this. It is x plus 1, that is one of the solution. X plus 1, just like what we had done at the beginning. Again, x plus 1. And then what about this? It is x is equal to 2i. Bring it inside, it's going to be minus 2i, okay? Oh, sorry. Let me just write it. So one of the root will be x minus 2i. And remember, they are always conjugate, so you should have x plus 2i as well. Now, whenever this is standard, it won't change. Whenever you see I, it's just not I, there is one more root minus I as well, because they come in two pairs. Okay, so now this is 3 plus 2i, 3 minus 3 plus I, 3 minus I. So now you need to take this in and then simplify. Um, Now back over here. So this is the thing. Over here, you need to simplify this. How would you simplify is basically you just can multiply. How we do the normal multiplication, that's the thing. But since I know a plus b, a minus b, I can use the identity. But if you're getting confused, don't worry. Over here, a plus b, sorry, x plus 1, I can write it as x plus 1 the whole square. And now over here, if you have this term, after bringing it in, it would be confusing, right? So I will show you the multiplication, x to x. So it'll be x square over here, then plus 2ix, then this one minus 2ix, and lastly we have plus 4i squared. Always these middle term gets cancelled, and what is remaining? 4i. Now if you recall the last term, we had learned I is square root of -1 and I square is equal to -1. Okay, so now here we need to write that it'll be x square. This I square is -1, so plus 4 into -1. Basically, we are getting x square minus 4. So this is how we get this. Every time you see this, you have to take it to the other side, do this multiplication, and you got this. Here, what do we have? Simplify this as much as possible. It'll be x square plus 2x plus 1. If you expand this, or you can multiply over here, you will get this answer. It's not over. Now, whatever I encircle, this is one term and this is also remaining. Both needs to be multiplied, right? Basically, what did we do? We had multiplied all, isn't it? I mean, it's polynomial multiplication, but it's just many terms. That's the only thing. Now, you need to multiply these two terms. What's going to happen? X square times x square will be x to the power 4. Then you need to multiply minus 4x square. I'm just doing the distributive property, plus 2x cube. Then we have minus 8x plus x square minus 4. Let's simplify this. X square, x to the power 4 is alone. What about x cube? That is also alone, so plus 2x cube. Now over here we have okay, I have, yes, correct. One second, I have done, yeah, okay. Now over here, what do I have? Minus 4x square, and over here there is 1x square. Let me just 1 minute. I've got an error somewhere over here. So I realize I have done one mistake over here, guys. So when I had multiplied over here, the reason is I understood the answer I'm getting over here is 3. That is wrong. Over here it should be 5. Now I realize my mistake. When I multiplied minus and plus 2, I have written plus 4. It should be minus 4. That is the mistake I have done. So I will correct it. It is minus 4. This will be here minus, and now minus and minus becomes plus. So basically when I multiplied this over here, x square, x to the power 4 and plus x to the power 4. So that was my mistake. I hope you understand the mistake what I did. Now over here we have 4x squared plus x squared, so it is plus 5x squared. It's also cramped up, I'm sorry for that. Then now what do we do is last terms remaining. This again I have done an error, because when I was multiplying 2 into 4 I wrote minus, it should be plus. Now I'm writing it correctly, it's plus 8x, and lastly we are remaining with, this is also plus 4. So that is the answer we are getting. Okay, if that's confusing, I'll do one more last one. How about this one? So over here it's x is 0, so it'll be just x. Okay, it'll be only x, and then these are the thing over here. It looks more complicated, so I'll do this last one over here. So what do you do is x plus 2, just change the sign, x plus 3, then we have x minus 4 plus 3i, Last term would be x minus x, bring it to the minus 4 minus 3i, because only the I part changes its sign. Okay, so many terms, but don't worry, they're just the same. Over here now, you need to multiply. Over here, it'll be x squared, two terms at a time. Okay, x squared plus 3x plus 2x plus 6. And when you simplify this, you're going to get x squared plus 5x plus 6. Next, this is over. This is the first two terms. Let me do these two terms over here. Let me just change the color. Now, x times x is x squared. It's like three terms are there. You have to do distributive property. Minus 4x minus 3 times 4 is 2. Sorry, minus 3 x and I is there. Okay, so now I have multiplied x throughout over here. So only the thing is, everywhere x has been multiplied. That is over. I mean, now you need to keep multiplying minus 4 everywhere. It'll be again minus times minus 4 times x is minus 4x plus 16. And lastly, we have minus times plus is 12 plus 12i. And lastly, we have to multiply 3i again. So when I multiply 3 over here, it's going to be plus 3xi. It always cancels. See, now this and this cancels, right? What is remaining? It'll be minus 12i. Even that will cancel. Minus 12i with plus 12i, it cancels. And last term is, I'll write it down over here, it'll be minus 9i squared. Since plus and minus, it'll be minus. Now, simplify what is remaining. It's x squared minus 4 plus minus 4, it'll be minus 8x. And then the 16 is remaining, so plus 16. And what about this? I and I is I squared. That is minus 1. Minus times minus, it'll be plus 9. So this is the answer. And now when you simplify, you will get x squared minus 8x plus 16 plus 9 is 25. Now ultimately you have to multiply these both and you will get the answer. Let us do this anyways, but I hope you have understood now. It's just the multiplication. I won't do all the multiplication, but I'll just tell you it'll be x4 is the leading term. Then over here you need to multiply this. It'll be x cubed. It'll be um, okay, it's just distributive property. You guys try this. Just multiply this term over here, just like what we have done, and then you will get a huge thing. Simplify it, you will get this, the last answer. It'll be starting with x to the power 4. So that would be the thing. So please try it by yourself. It is just polynomial multiplication. That is what we can do. The main concept over here is that this one over here, these are the zeros. So that means you will have x of opposite sign, x plus 2, x plus 3, and so on. There are other methods as well, but since you know polynomial multiplication, the multiplication is the easiest way to go through. So now if you have graphing calculator and all, then you can easily graph this out. So over here, uh, to graph these directly, it is a bit hard because you need a graphing calculator. Otherwise, there's no other method. If your graphing calculator, yes, it's possible. With all these roots, automatically you will get the exact graph. And from that graph, you can get this equation. But sadly, if you don't have the graphing calculator, the method which I just now told is the only method. So that is the thing. You can understand these are the roots. And if it's imaginary, that means it's somewhere it's not going to touch. Okay, so that's how it is. Sorry, that's how it is for these. Now same way you can try these as well. Now over here they have asked for graphing. We know how to graph. Take any x value, just put it in this equation and solve. You will get the answer. We have done this before. So now to try, you need to use the calculator method. Let's do a problem. Let's do this one. We can see the graphs. You need to take out your calculator, and let's say these both are this is the equation. You have four options. These both are similar. They are the cubic equations. So let's compare how do we find it. you need to assume any point. Always start with 0 because it's the easiest value. So if you're solving for this equation, wherever there is 4, wherever there is x, sorry, put 0 and just change it to cube. Why I'm using the brackets already is, though I know it's 0, it's going to be 0. It'll be easy for me to change the values later on. So multiplied by 0 to the power squared minus 4 into 0. Brackets because I might use negative values and positive values. That's the reason I have to put multiplication over here. Now what is the answer? For x value of 0 over here, you're going to get minus 2. Yes, that's absolutely right. Over here, you can see it's wrong. Maybe this graph had minus 2. Maybe two graphs at the same point. What do? Just change the value. Say I'll put 1 now. Change all the x values to 1. It's good if you put brackets, you'll easily understand that is the value you need to change. It's easy to, it'll tell you, okay, this is the value to change. That's it. Now done. Press equal, it's 0. Now imagine even over here it was same, try few other points. You will definitely get only one graph which matches the exact equation. So that is how we do it. Now the first part where we saw really required graphing calculator, but I told you method by polynomial multiplication. So follow that even for imaginary numbers or for non real numbers, it is going to work. The next one is just graphing. So it's very, very straightforward. Otherwise, you can also do this, since it's in cubic form, you can do mod phi 4 and then solve it. I'll do the coefficient for this. 1 minus phi minus 224. So what will I get? I'll get minus 2 is x equals minus 2. Yes, that's true, absolutely. 4, yes again, and 3, absolutely true. So those are the answers. Now you can check this one. 4, 2, it's minus 4, and lastly we have minus 2. What about these? 1, yes, true. 1, it's negative half, yes, negative 0.5, and negative 1. That's the correct answers. That's another way to do it. So one thing to remember, sometimes there might be imaginary numbers. That means over here it'll come like this, but then it, sorry, let me show. Over here, imagine this was the graph. It crossed, but it doesn't touch, it'll just go up. So there is a dip, but only one real solution, then there will be two imaginary solutions. So that is the thing. And always remember, imaginary solutions will be in pairs. There will be 2. Imagine you got 2 plus I, it'll be 2 minus I. They'll be in conjugates. Similarly, you can try these. Now, sadly, you can't solve these in calculator. So do the shortcut method, which I told you. Directly assume values of x and then solve. Now, over here, consider x to be 0. All these cancels. It should be minus 12. Yes, it is minus 12. Similarly, over here, it should be minus 8 as the starting. Yes, it is negative 8, isn't it? Yes, this is the graph. Yes, it is minus 8. Yes, over here. So that is how we can easily solve it. So I hope this is clear. Please do try solving more problems, especially the first part, the first bit of this. This is not so easy, I know. The only way is solving more and more problems and being thorough with this. I square means it's minus 1. So whenever you get I square, it'll be minus 1. All the others will be cancelled. And so then ultimately you can solve it. So that's the end of the topic 15. Please stay tuned for the next topic. It'll be posted shortly as soon as possible.